All right, Stan, let's talk about these questions and how they measure confidence, how you should answer them appropriately, and what that tells you. Are clients better off when I'm involved versus not having an advisor at all or having a different advisor?
I would challenge you to, hopefully you've gone through these questions already by yourself before we kind of prompt them for you, just to kind of get a little more raw reaction from yourself. But the first one, this has to be where you get to a place to where you deeply believe that when this client enters your office, if they're a good fit for you, that they are better off working with you. Because then it creates this like moral obligation to say, okay, now it's up to me to convey the value enough. Because as an advisor, I see that you need to do X, Y, and Z. And if you do these things, you'll be much better off in the short term and the long term. Okay, now it's up to me to make sure that you make the right choice.
But the root of that is, I think, two things. One is you have confidence you can help them. And two, like I've identified needs, and if you walk away and you don't do this, like I'm concerned about you. It's not just about, man, I need the money, or it's not. It's a match of they have these needs, and I know that I can help them, and you combine those things, and then you say yeah. But you also said something really important, which is like if they're a good fit. If they're not a good fit, then it's not an overconfidence. I've heard an advisor everybody needs to work with me. I'm like, okay, good luck with that.
That's right. And part of that is too, is I can tell you just from repetition, most people left to their own are busy with life, aren't going to take action. Like they need somebody there coaching them along.
Second question.
I'll go back to the first question real quick on the version of that, kind of version 2.
Yeah.
Is, are they better off by themselves or with me? I think most advisors could say, yeah, they're better off with me. The second version of that is, are they better off with me compared to another advisor? And that means you are so confident in your process. And I've seen a lot of things in the industry that I know now, hey, 9 out of 10 clients are better off with us than somebody else.
Sure.
That doesn't mean we're better than everybody, but for the right client, we believe we are that good at what we do.
Right.
And so that's a variation of that we have to be careful with. But as your confidence builds, you will get to a place to where you have no hesitation. Right.
And I would say this. I don't know that you could say we're better than it. You wouldn't say that to a client, but I will say that they will feel that. They will feel the confidence.
That's right.
You don't have to say it.
Yep.
Because you can feel it when people don't have it. So you can feel it when people do have it.
They'll sniff that out.
I'm fully aware what I need to work on to become an elite advisor. How does this measure your confidence?
Part of this is your ability to get feedback or pursue perspective. And the more confident you are, the more you don't know. Yeah, it's the idea of like the more you know, the more you don't know.
Right.
And when you get to a place to where, and this was my journey of like, oh, hopefully nobody sees through me because I am bringing nothing to the table and they can poke holes in my confidence all day long, to, hey, I'm pretty good at this, to, wow, there's so much I can learn from others and just being around other people. And so I think this is a great question. And hopefully as you ask yourself this before you're watching this debrief with us, is you're like, no, I think I'm good. Like, no, I have a clear idea. It's like, but do you? And you'll start realizing the more advisors you get around, and this still happens to me, I'm like, wait, you're doing what? In how much time? Like, okay, you just kind of threw my whole dynamic off. Like everything I thought to be true in my world is now in question.
Yeah.
You should feel that pretty frequently.
So it's essentially asking the question, we talked about this, I think, in episode 35 or something about your blind spots. Like the reason they're called blind spots is because you can't see them. And so just know that you probably have them. And if you're...
Don't fight if somebody's like, hey, do you know you can't see that truck you're about to hit? And then just keep going and run into it. Be like, oh, I'm just going to... I'm open to looking. Yeah.
That's right. The other is, how do I react when a client asks me about a topic that I don't have a deep knowledge of? How does that tie into confidence? This is a funky one. This is a curveball.
I just laugh looking back. Because when I first got in the business, I was like, man, if I don't have an answer right away for every client question, they're going to see through me.
Yeah.
And so I try to just make up something, or I never went as far as like, I'm going to lie to this person, but I'm going to say a bunch of words they may not understand and go from there. To now, even though I have 10 plus years under my belt, a lot of clients, success in business, and the results are there, more now than ever, I say, that's a great question. I want to spend some time researching that before I give you an answer. Because clients do not believe you should know everything in the moment. And a lot of them will be like, it seems like you're always giving me an answer. Like, you really have every
I would submit this, then. The quicker you give an answer, I think the less confident you are. And in that, if you're confident in your answer, you'll let them finish, and you'll go, okay. Well, and then you give them the answer. I have found that when people react and they sort of panic, hey, what about this?
That's good.
Well, it's this weird trigger that you're just like, and you just sort of kind of start talking because they feel like, oh, I have to say something right away to show that I'm confident about this. It is a service to the client, and they will have more confidence. They go, oh, he didn't just start talking.
Oh yeah, and our clients with more complex needs, like they expect that answer because they're probably working with other professionals, and they're like, no, I don't expect. I want you to spend more time on it.
Yeah.
Because my situation may not be exactly like the last one.
Imagine walking into the doctor's office and you're like, looks at and he's like, yeah, that's a major surgery. And you're like, whoa, hold on.
Talked about it yet.
Let's have some conversation about this.
That's right.
When is the last time I invested over $2,500 to level myself up? How does that relate to confidence?
The ability to know, and this is kind of part of the blind spot thing, is that to the degree you recognize that you have more knowledge to gain, or that the more you know, the more you realize you don't know, the more conviction you'll have on there's almost no investment too big to go and level up even more.
Yeah.
And as you get around high performers, I mean, I've been around some CEOs before, they're paying like coaches $100,000 plus a year just to be challenged and grow more.
Yeah.
So I think there's a direct correlation between your confidence / humility and your willingness to invest in learning those things even faster.
Yeah.
Versus time is not always the best teacher. I don't want to be 80 and all of a sudden like, oh man, I wish I would have known that when I was 25. Like, wait, you're telling me that information is out there right now.
Yeah.
And it's up to me to get it faster. And that's within my control.
Yeah.
I'll spend whatever it takes.
Absolutely. In the same way you would have confidence in a stock, so you'd buy more of the stock.
That's right.
If you have confidence in yourself, right?
I mean, I love when I tell advisors, stop funding your Roth, stop funding your 401k. I was like, well, that's the business we're in. I'm like, yeah, but invest in yourself, invest in your business, invest to help more people. The dollar spent on that right now is a 100x return versus a 10, 12x, whatever it would be. You'll get to funding those accounts.
Or negative 20.
That's right. Yeah. Ouch.
What will be the next hire for my team? We'll end with that one. How does that relate to confidence?
One, your confidence that by freeing yourself up with a new hire, because every hire you should stop doing maybe 50, 60% of what you're doing as a leader, that you know you can better apply that time to help more people. But it's also, hey, I'm going to be in this business for a while. Like, this isn't a side hustle for me. Like, this is my career, and therefore to grow my business, I need more qualified people on the team. And so if when you ask yourself the question of who's my next hire and you don't have anybody, that's revealing some level of confidence that needs to be challenged.
Another a phrase I want you to have in your mind as you think about this, advisors, is renters don't plant trees. Like, I'm not going to see it. Right? What do I care? I'm just kind of here for a while, and so we want you to invest and plant things for the long term for your business. Thanks for that, Sen. Great job.
You bet.